Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today, and I am going to share with you how to paint a smooth sky without any hard edges or blooms. So we're going to start with the exercise. This is our sky number 1. So those are the colors that I try to work with. So I'm thinking about my palette. So okay, I'm going to use some of the yellow, then it's gonna be quin red for sure, and I'm trying to stick to the primary colors too, so red, blue, and yellow. And because you really don't need that many colors to create natural looking clouds. Now the paper I use is basically the same for each of these paintings, so it's just a 5x8. I use these flat brushes. These are Heritage Series by Princeton, so they are stiff but they're on the softer side. My working palette, so you know what colors are placed where, and I keep rotating the 2 palettes that I have for the paintings. So the first thing I'm going to do is dilute some of the paint with water. We want to move fast and we'll apply all these colors to a wet paper, so we don't really want the hard edges when we paint a sky. That's just my opinion. Like, it looks better when it's all softer. So the first thing, I need to wet my paper. So this is the flat stroke brush. So the company calls it stroke brush, but it's just a flat brush and size is 1 inch. So you can use any flat brush and any size, whatever you're comfortable with, and just make sure you wet your paper. So I need a little smaller brush for this. So this is like 3/4 size stroke brush. I'm starting with the lightest colors that I see first. This is the thing about painting skies. You don't want to focus like on every detail there, and don't try to match to what you really see. Like, you can match overall. Okay, overall, yes, because that's what I do. But don't worry like about, okay, this cloud is here, this little cloud here, this color is here. Try not to focus on that and just go with the general idea of the layout of the clouds. Now I do have some blue in there, but this is more like a purplish blue, so I'm applying it right next to that purple already created. So I basically have here phthalo blue red shade with quinacridone red, and then round brush 0, a little more color. I feel like, okay, you know what, before it dries I need a little more color, and just more yellows. And then there's quinacridone red with a yellow ochre, and then there's indigo and quinacridone red. So now I'm adding darks. So this is a darker mixture, but this one also has Van Dyke brown in it, a little less, so that's why I'm using also round 8 brush, so I have a little more control over that. And I'm basically using the full head of the brush, but a lot of it is also just working with the tip of my brush. The thing is that it's the ratio of your watercolor mixed in with paint that needs to be more like so the shape is nice and smooth. It will still spread, like the paint will still spread. We're painting over a wet surface, so, but it's a matter of how much water I have on my brush. And I don't think you want a bloom, in my opinion, in the sky, because it just doesn't look as natural. And then just manipulating these clouds to make sure they dry nicely. I am going to add another layer, so be careful so you don't wet your painting on the right side, so no color bleeds over to the middle one. And I'm starting right away with the darkest colors, the darkest values, and I am using a smaller brush for more control. And the water paint ratio is definitely more like half and half, and sometimes at the beginning it was more like a heavy cream and a little more paint, a little more diluted. But as long as I can control it and how it spreads, then I'm fine with it around those darkest parts of the clouds, and that's what I'm trying to apply. And I'm mostly using the tip of my brush for the most control. And I still want to sign my paintings. I have 3 paintings to sign overall, but now we can see what happens like once we remove that masking fluid for watercolors in the middle painting. If you're interested to take some of my classes, I have voiceover tutorials on Patreon as well. And to check out the list of available tutorials, please go through the index on my website. The link is www.mariamorjane.com/patreon.html. Then the website address for Patreon is www.patreon.com/MariaMorjane. I hope to see you there.